The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Morning Fantasy. They have a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, $50 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome everybody to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Thursday afternoon, September 4th, around 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Scott Reichel, joined again by Dylan Rockford. Together, we'll break down the games here for the Friday card. Warning though, we are missing a decent amount of lines, but it is what it is. Dylan, I know nobody's talking baseball today. It's fine because we have a pretty big football game coming up later on in the NFL. But we know baseball still has about a month to go.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. So how's it going, Dylan? What's up?
I'm doing good. Yeah, like you said, big game tonight, Thursday Night Football. Not for us. We're Jet fans. But still,
I
nonetheless.
still got props and bets. And,
yeah, so
whatever.
definitely going to get involved. Watch. It's good to have football on tonight. Brazil, I low-key forgot it was in Brazil tomorrow, but
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, like I think you said it best last pod or maybe last week. Since we handicap every game essentially 5 days a week, it forces me to be involved in baseball. I know a lot of people have kind of checked out, and even me, like I only bet like 2 games a day in baseball, but I still keep track of it every day. So yeah, we're still in the thick of things. About a month left to go, and Mets, they couldn't complete the sweep, unfortunately.
That's fine. Reds lost too, so who cares? It's
Yeah, honestly, I guess maybe a little delusional. I thought maybe we could get the division, maybe still, but
who knows? It's a long way to go, but there are a couple of big series featuring our teams actually this weekend. So hopefully they go in our favor. But either way, before we get into any of the games here for the Friday card, a reminder that we also have a couple of promos going on, mostly contests. Free roll football contest is back. It's free to enter, and you're picking every game ATS in the NFL. Running out of time, so make sure you join before it's too late. 3K for first place, 4K if you're a Patreon member. Sign up for the free contest once again at sportsgamble.com/freeroll. Plus, we have a nice discount code for the merch store, promo code football for a quarter off everything. Make sure to check out the MLB Gambling Podcast stuff, the NBA Gambling Podcast stuff, etc. Check out all the different shows. We all have merch. But you can also get the discount on everything by using the promo code football. Plus, reminder, sign up for the Survivor Contest, $100 entry fee, winner take all at sportsgamble.com/survivor to enter our Survivor Contest. Moving on to the actual games for the card on Friday. Starting off with the first game, you have the Nationals taking on the Cubs. You have Irvin against Assad. For the money line, Cubs, of course, minus 220, 230, give or take. Nationals are plus 190. For the over-under, I see 9.5. For the spread, I see the Cubs minus 1.5 and minus 120. And for the Nationals plus 1.5, I see even money. Now, for the actual matchup, Assad has not really been much of a starter this season, but he's been okay. 4 starts, 4.05 ERA, but not really going a ton of distance, to no surprise. But you're looking at who's pitching for the Nationals, and Irvin has been god-awful for the last month or two. He's allowed at least 3 earned runs in a bunch of starts in a row. The entire month, actually, of August, he allowed at least 3 earned runs in every start. In that same month, ERA of 8.78. So we know the Cubs have been kind of underwhelming lately. We keep talking about this team the same way. The Nationals, though, we know stink. They were decent against the Marlins, but that's also a pretty bad team. I think I have to go with the Cubs here on the run line because I think that Irvin's actually that bad. I'm checking the weather, though, just to see if the wind's blowing out because at 9.5, I'm assuming the wind's blowing out kind of heavily in Wrigley. So I do think the over could be intriguing for this game. Yeah, wind's blowing out to right field at around 13 miles an hour. That's good enough for me. Give me the over and a classic Wrigley day game here with the wind blowing out. 2 pitchers not really sold on. Give me the over 9.5.
Yeah, I made the Cubs a huge favorite in this one as well. I feel like they should win this game handily. Jake Irvin has just been bad for the Nationals. 8.78 ERA in the month of August. 3+ runs given up in 7 of his last 8 games. He's also backed by the worst bullpen as well. I know the Nationals are actually coming off a sweep against the Marlins, but let's not kid ourselves. The Cubs are a much different team than the Fish, especially at home. I kind of like the team total over for the Cubs. Should be a really windy afternoon. You mentioned it, 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing out toward right field. And on the other side, I know he's only had 4 starts, but Javier Assad, I feel like he's been decent here for the Cubs. So Nationals really not a powerhouse offense. I like the run line. I also like the team total over. I think the Cubs should score a lot of runs here. So, yeah, I'll take the team total over for the Cubs.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you. I just see a bunch of runs in this
Yeah.
game. So I'll go with the over for this one. Moving on to the next game, White Sox taking on the Tigers. White Sox have won a couple games against the Twins, and they've been dogs in both of them. Shout out to the White Sox for helping me sweep the last episode that I was on because they were getting plus money and the Twins stink. But either way, for this game, you are looking at Smith against Flaherty. For the pricing, I do see the Tigers being once again pretty big favorites here as they are minus 190. The White Sox are plus 160. For the over-under in this game, I see 8.5. And for the run line for Detroit, I see minus 1.5 at around plus 110. I see the plus 1.5 at minus 130. So Flaherty's had a pretty underwhelming season. 7-13, 4.74 ERA. He has alternated good and bad starts for the last 4 outings. 5 2/3, 1 run, 5 innings, 8 runs, 7 innings, no runs, and 4 1/3, 5 runs, coincidentally, against the same White Sox team. He's not been very good. Smith has been fine, 3.81 ERA, and recently he's been good. He has allowed less than 3 earned in 4 of his last 5. So I'm going to go for the underdog here. I think 190 is too steep for Flaherty, who's been, for the most part, not very good recently. And the White Sox have been winning some games. Yes, I know it's a step up in competition, but as, once again, a Mets fan, you know, the Tigers didn't look very good over the last couple of games. They did win the finale, but still not really a great showing by them. Give me the White Sox at plus money. It worked for me last episode. I'll go with them again at plus 160.
Yeah, worried about this one because of Jack Flaherty, like you mentioned, up and down. Honestly, I would take the under, if anything.
I feel the same way.
My total came out to 8.2. Flaherty has been just so up and down in his last 3 starts versus the White Sox. Last 3, 2-1 towards the under. 394, excuse me, ERA. Not terrible versus the White Sox in 3 starts. Just 1 bad start, and it was his last one. And I think on the other side, Shane Smith, I think he's been better at home for the White Sox. Batters only hitting a $183 off of him. He actually had a really good August. If you look at the numbers, 2.67 ERA. He just went 5 scoreless innings versus his Tigers team a few weeks back. And the game ended 1-0. I don't know if it'll end 1-0 here, but in his last 4 home starts, all went under this number as well. So I think we could see another low-scoring game. Tigers should win this game. I don't want to lay it, though, with Detroit, if I'm being honest, but I think a very 4-2, 4-1 type of game here, but I think we see a lower scoring game. I take the under, if anything.
Yeah, I agree with the under, but I also think that you're looking at a line that's just too big for Flaherty, who has not been good.
Absolutely.
So I'll go with the White Sox here.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game, you have the Brewers taking on the Pirates. Pirates been good against the Dodgers recently. For this one, though, you have Priester in a bit of a revenge game there against Oviedo. For the pricing, Brewers are a decent favorite here, minus 140. You'd argue that it should be higher based on the record. For Pittsburgh, though, they're about plus 120. For the over-under, I see 8.5. So for this one, I'm going to go with Milwaukee. I know Oviedo's been fine. Priester's been very good this season. He has allowed a total of 3 earned runs in his last 3 starts combined. I do think that he is a solid pitcher, or at least the Brewers turn him into one. Oviedo's been fine, but Milwaukee, we know, is 32 games over 500. They're objectively right now the best team in the league. Good enough for me. 140 feels very generous. I'll take Milwaukee minus 140. I thought it would open up like minus 160. I'll take minus 140.
Yeah, I love the Brewers in this spot. We got to keep riding the Quinn Priester streak. He's been so good away from home this season, and the Brewers have won his last 16 starts. The last time they lost a Quinn Priester start was late May, and it was actually against this Pittsburgh team, but he was great in that start. Only 1 run given up in 6 innings. For whatever reason, the Brewers just always seem to get enough run support for him to eventually get the win in the game. So I know the Pirates, they're playing some good baseball right now, but I personally don't expect that to last. At some point, they will start to regress again, and it all might start by facing Quinn Priester, maybe looking for a little revenge angle as well. Toronto, I think their offense will break out, top 5 offense in the league. I think they'll be able to get to Oviedo, who you mentioned, he has been okay. But I do think Brewers minus 140 is a very fair price here on the road. So, yeah, I'll take Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think you're looking at, once again, just a line that's too short. So Keon's mentioning that Priester, I believe the Brewers have won 16 straight games that he's pitched in. So I've been mentioning that streak for a couple months at this point, so I'll keep going with it, especially against his former team. I'll give me Milwaukee in that one. Moving on to your team, taking on the Reds in what used to be a competitive wild card race. Right now they're 5 games up. You have Peterson against Abbott. For the pricing, we have the Mets at minus 125. We have the Reds at plus 105. And for the over-under, I do see 8.5 or 9. So we know Abbott has been very good this season. As for Peterson, he's had a pretty interesting season, I'll put it that way, because he was in good form, and then he wasn't, because the Marlins destroyed him last start for 8 earned runs in 2 innings. He was good the previous 2 starts. Before that, though, 3 1/3, 6 runs against the Braves, 6 innings, 4 runs against the Guardians. So recently, he's kind of fallen off a cliff. Now, we know Abbott's still very good. Does it matter? I don't know, because the Reds' bullpen is useless, so I don't actually know if it matters. But I'll ask you for this game, because I think I am tempted by the Reds' first 5, but I don't trust them for a full game situation at all, because watching them pitch against Toronto was just an absolute eyesore. I don't mind maybe the over in the game, but I do think Peterson's going to struggle. So maybe if you want to make an argument for the first 5 Reds full game Mets, I don't mind that. But I can't really trust the Reds right now, just based on, for a full game at least, based on their form. I guess it's Mets, but maybe Reds first 5.
Yeah, this is a big series here for the Mets, for both teams, honestly. I actually made the Reds a minus 105 favorite here at home. David Peterson should not be a minus 124 favorite on the road. He just shouldn't. I know he had a really bad month, but in his 2 road starts in the month of August, he was fine. The whole season, I think he's actually been better on the road. He just can't get the run support. And we know how good Andrew Abbott has been at home for the Reds, 2.11 ERA at home. And I think because Peterson has been good at home, Abbott on the road, Abbott at home, I think we can see a lower scoring game, maybe in the first 5. I know both teams have been an over machine the past week or so, but both teams do struggle against lefties. 2 solid pitchers. I'm going to eliminate the bullpens because I don't trust either bullpen right now. I would actually take a first 5 under, because I do think Peterson's going to be a little better here on the road. We don't know how good Abbott is at home. I'll take a first 5 under. I don't think the Mets should be that big of a favorite on the road. I probably would take the plus money here with the Reds, but I can't, as a Met fan, I can't do that. I can't actually bet that. But yeah, I probably would take a first 5 under.
Yeah, I do have a trivia question that I want to mention, which I feel like you might get the right answer to, you might not. I know that I saw a couple of tweets about it, but it had to be mentioned. So, since the start of, we'll say the start of July,
okay,
how many home runs do you think Elly De La Cruz has?
Since July?
Since the start of July.
5?
1.
Wow.
There's 1 home run.
Wow.
In roughly 60 games.
That's insane.
So I wanted to mention that. I feel like you can talk about the Reds pitching being terrible, which it has been. You can question why they didn't use Burns yesterday as a starter and went for a bullpen game instead, and they got destroyed. But I have to at least mention, or hold some people accountable, Elly, who's supposed to be the face of the team, has 1 home run since the start of July.
Wow.
He had 0 in the entire month of August. I have to mention Elly there in passing. 1 is the right answer. He has been awful for the last couple months. So, not to mention the fact he's also leading the league in errors. So, that is
he beat your boy Volpe?
Yeah, he's ahead of Volpe. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because at least for Volpe, you could argue he's a bit undersized. You know, you can make excuses. Still, it's bad. Elly has an absolute rocket for an arm, and he's what, like 6'5", 6'6"?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should not be leading the league in errors when you can cover that much ground. Like, that's just something that shouldn't happen. But, yeah, he's been a terrible fielder, and he's been awful at the plate for the last couple months. So, yeah, wanted to mention Elly.
Real quick, remember in the beginning of the season, I got flooded by, like, people in DMs like, oh, Juan Soto's a bust. He's not an all-star. He's underwhelming.
Yeah, he's going to have 40 home runs this year.
Did you last 25 games, what do you think he's hitting?
Average-wise?
Yeah.
420.
That's crazy. No, 303.
Okay, all right.
He's hitting 303 last 25 games, 12
It
home
feels
runs.
like 420. He's on base 3 times a game.
He leads the league in walks, I think. 12 home runs, 28 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. This is a generational player. He's going to have 40 fucking home runs. It's insane.
I still don't think he can field, which we all know.
No. I'm not talking about his glove, but hitting wise, he's insane. So
I knew that as a Yankees fan. So like I wasn't like panicking for the Mets when Soto was struggling early. The problem is the fact that he can't field and he's in year 1 of the contract. But he's a future Hall of Famer. I mean, you're not going to turn that down for his bat, but he's been really good. I saw him bunt a hit for the other day, and then he got picked off second base.
Does it surprise you how aggressive he is on the base path too? Because watching him past few years, he doesn't really steal bases like that.
With the Yankees, he did a little bit, but I feel like he can be a little bit too aggressive at times, which you're familiar with now, because he has been kind of pushing the limit. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have much speed, and he leads your team in stolen bases.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'd say he's successful more than he's not, and he steals more bases than you think. But he has been a little bit over-aggressive lately.
Yeah.
And he might have to cut back on that. But overall, the point is, I do think he, of course, has been a phenomenal player because, shocker, Juan Soto's a phenomenal player. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? But anyway, a point is, I wanted to mention Ellie in passing because he's been really bad, and I feel like people have not noticed just how bad he's been. So keep that in mind. Moving on to the next game, Dodgers taking on the Orioles. For this one, you have Glasnow against Kramer. For this one, we have no lines. So we have a bunch of games with no lines, and this is the first one, so apologies here. In fact, we kind of hit a bit of a bubble with no line games. So apologies, but Dodgers will be favored. Baltimore has been doing some damage in favor of the Dodgers against San Diego recently. I'll ask you, because Kramer's been up and down. We know that Glasnow has been pretty good for the most part this season. Dodgers on the road, though, really bad. They are 33-35 on the road. Yeah. What do you like here? I'm assuming it's a pretty decent number in favor of the Dodgers. If I'm guessing, minus 150 maybe, give or take. 150, 160. Like the Dodgers might be a small favorite like Milwaukee is in this card because they've not been good on the road.
Yeah.
So maybe 140, but probably between 140 and 160 if I had to guess. You have any thoughts?
Yeah, regardless of what it does come out to, I don't want to back either side, if I'm being honest, in this game. If anything, I would take the over. My total came out to 9.1. I think both pitchers have kind of been underwhelming as of late. Glasnow, he struggled on the road, and you mentioned it with Dean Kramer. Last 3 starts, all 3 ended in double digits. You know, he's had back-to-back poor starts. And the Orioles offense has really started to pick up a little in that series versus San Diego. So offensively, I think they'll be able to score a few runs off of Glasnow. And I think the Dodgers will be able to score off of Dean Kramer. We do have winds blowing out as well in Baltimore. So it should be a really windy night tomorrow night in Baltimore. So I would take runs, if anything. But you're right. I only made the Dodgers a minus 145 favorite. So even that seems kind of high, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't take the Dodgers, but yeah, I like runs, if anything.
Yeah, I think runs definitely make sense for this. I think you're looking at a spot where you might see both pitchers potentially struggle at the moment. So, yeah, I can get behind that too. I think Glasnow should go better than Kramer, in my opinion. So I guess I'm going with the Dodgers. But Baltimore's been hitting. So I don't mind that potentially for an over in this game too. Moving on to the next game, you have the Blue Jays taking on the Yankees in a big series for the weekend. You have Gausman against Schlittler. Now for this one, we have no lines, which is unfortunate because it is probably the series of the weekend. But I'll ask you because the Yankees, yes, I know that you can't give up 8 runs to Houston. At the same point, I thought the home plate umpire was atrocious last night, and the Yankees lost a heartbreaker 8-7. Devin Williams allegedly got hosed a couple times. He still stinks, and he ended up walking in the go-ahead run. Doval came in. He balked the guy in. He wild pitched a guy in. It was pretty ugly. But either way, the Yankees have been hitting the ball well lately. Mm-hmm. Baltimore has been, better recently. Tampa's been good recently. Yeah. Boston's been decent recently. Toronto's kind of been slumping. They were able to win a couple games against Cincinnati, mainly because the offense has been good, but the pitching staff has been awful for Toronto lately. I'll ask you what you like, because I think it's actually a pretty competitive game either way. I thought about the under, because I don't mind the pitchers here. Schlittler's been good, and Gausman's been good, but both offenses have been really good lately. So it's kind of tricky. I'm hoping this totals at around 8.5 or 9. I'm hoping for a playoff atmosphere. Maybe you see both pitchers go well. Maybe a hot take. I'm going with the under in this game.
I like Nathan's prop in the chat. I said Blue Jays to score first. What do you think about that? I think that's a fun prop to play on the game.
You're hoping they score in the top of the first, obviously. Yeah. So usually you're laying a decent amount of juice on that one. I don't know how great I feel about that because usually you're paying a tax for the road team. I tend to like those props with the home team because you're getting plus money every time, basically, because once again, you have to get 3 outs first before you actually get to bat. I think I'll pass on that, but it depends on price.
Yeah, no, I honestly think, and we mentioned the Mets and the Reds are big series, but that's for a wild card. This is for the division. I think this is I thought this was the series of the weekend here, but I don't know. I think the Yankees are playing better right now.
They are.
They're better at home, and you mentioned it. The Blue Jays have kind of cooled down, but 2 top 5 offenses. I actually think we could see some runs. I'm hoping we get an 8.5, if I'm being honest, because my total came out to 9.1. Gausman has had success versus the Yankees, but he does struggle a little bit away from Toronto. Your guy Cam, he's also given up more runs, and the hard contact has gone up at home for the Yankees. Both bullpens have kind of been underwhelming as well. I think that's why I like runs. It's going to be a really nice night in the Bronx tomorrow. So I honestly would fade both pitchers in the bullpens. I like both offenses. I think we could see some runs. So I actually bleed on the other side. I take the over. It depends, though. If we get an 8.5.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the Yankees will be favored in this game as the home team. So I'll go Toronto personally with the coin flip there. But Schwindler's been very good. Props to him. As a young pitcher, he has some nasty stuff. He could be very good in the future as well. But I don't know. I think that this game, the Blue Jays have kind of owned the Yankees so far this season. I don't know if I want to lay the minus with the Yankees when one team has just completely owned the other team so far this season. Anyway, moving on, before we get into the rest of the card, reminder, we're brought to you by our sponsor, which is my book at ADG. Using to bet on football, for the NFL, for college football, use their prop builder, which is second to none. They have a very, I'd say, similar model to ours, which is bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And a reminder that you could also use easy deposits and fast payouts with crypto. Head to my book at ADG with the code SGPN for 100% back bonus up to $500 for new customers. My book at ADG promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You could use them for a bunch of models for different sports. They have college football, they have NFL, they have MLB, they have WNBA, golf as well. Check out all the different sports that they cover. They also have a brand new leaderboard reward system, or they have a nice giveaway for the leaderboard. If you use the leaderboard to track your bets in the app, track just 5 bets of the same type for any model, and you can enter the giveaway for a chance to win a $1,000 prize. Don't forget, we have a nice 7-day free trial with the platform. Using the promo link, go to sportsgamblingbox.com to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games for the card on Friday. Time to move on to the next game. The Phillies taking on the Marlins. Now, for this game, you have Sanchez against We Don't Know. Once again, broken record. We have no lines. Now, Sanchez has been a monster. Phillies will be favored, obviously. The question is by how much. I saw the Braves ended up waiving or releasing Cal Quantrill. Maybe Miami brings him back. Who knows? Yeah. But the point is, we don't know who's pitching for the Marlins in this game. I'm going Phillies minus 1.5. Yes, they're a lot worse on the road. I get it. The Marlins lost the series to the Nationals. Not ideal. And Sanchez is filthy. And he goes distance. Give me the Phillies minus 1.5.
Yeah, I think it should be Valentin Belzello. I think that's how you pronounce it for the official.
Belozo or whatever.
Yeah, so probably a bullpen type day. Can it get any worse for them? I mean, like you mentioned, they just got swept by the Nationals, and offensively, they went MIA. Now they're facing Sanchez, who has been nails for the Phillies. I hate him, but he has been good. I got to tip my hat to him. Outside of that one start versus the Mets, he's been great in the month of August. He shut down Miami back in July in Florida. The Phillies should win this game handily. The bullpen stinks. They're broken offensively. I made them over a $2 favorite. So as long as we get like a minus 110, minus 115, I think the Phillies run line, it has to be the play here.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, Mariners taking on the Braves. For this one, you have Gilbert against Sale. For the pricing here, I see Atlanta being favored, minus 132. I see Seattle at around plus 112. For the over-under, I see 7.5. Shout out to Kim, who joined the Braves and hit a bomb against the Cubs. So shout out to him. I watched Sale pitch against the Phillies last week. damn, he looked really good. I got nothing else to really add. Sale's filthy. 6 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts in his first start in 2 months. He looked like his old self. Seattle is only 6 games over. Don't look now. There are teams that are breathing down their necks in the wild card race. Seattle might miss the playoffs. I'm just going to throw it out there. They've been quite underwhelming lately, and it would be classic Seattle if they unraveled in September and missed the playoffs. So it wouldn't shock me if that happened. But keep an eye out for a couple teams behind them in that wild card race. It can get a bit weird. That's all I'm going to say. I'm taking Atlanta in this game. I understand that they are worse record-wise. They've been better over the last month. Sale's back, and he looked very good. And Atlanta's been bad all season. But you know what? They're pretty good at home, at least by comparison. So give me Sale. I'll back him here. Gilbert, 5.8 ERA on the road. I think Sale's just nasty. Give me Atlanta in this game.
Yeah, it should be it's going to be another over for me. I made the Braves a -125 favorite here at home. My total came out to 8.1. I think Logan Gilbert has struggled on the road this season. 5.80 ERA. Didn't have a good August, and the Mariners have lost his last 4 road starts. He's given up 3+ runs in 3 of those 4 road starts. At home, I think he's fine. I think at times he could be backable, but on the road, I personally just can't back him. And I thought Chris Sale was fine in his first start back, but the
Fine's an understatement, though. 6 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts against the Phillies in Philly.
Yeah,
I thought he was great.
Yeah, no, he was good. But the Mariners do swing a good bat on the road. They're averaging 4.85 runs per game on the road, top 4 in the league on the road. Every game went over in that Mariners-Rays game. We were just giving it out on the show. I don't know about when you were on, but I feel like me, Lonte, me, and Mal were just giving it out. And the over's just been really profitable for Seattle. 41-30 on the road towards the over. So I think both pitchers could give up a few runs here. I would take the over, if anything.
Do want to ask you, by the way,
Yeah.
the Yankees and the Red Sox right now are tied. The Yankees have 2 games in hand, 4.5 games clear of Seattle for that final wildcard spot. Do you want to guess how many games Seattle's ahead of the first team out of the playoffs right now?
2,
basically, how
3?
big's their cushion?
2, 3?
It's 1.5.
So
you're looking at Seattle. You have the Rangers, who have played 1 more game. They're a game and a half back. Royals are 2.5 back. Rays are 2.5 back. Guardians are 3 back. Seattle might miss the playoffs. I'm just throwing it out there. I think it might be worth something to maybe throw a flyer on them to miss the playoffs.
That'd be hilarious.
They've been pretty underwhelming. Raleigh, I know people keep making a big deal about his numbers over the last 2 months. Not been good. I'll tell you that much. They might go full Mariners again and miss the playoffs. So keep that in mind. But 1.5 games clear. There are signs this team might fully unravel. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on paper, I love the roster, but they just can't perform, and I don't think the offense is really that good, especially at home. So, yeah, I worry about him. I worry about him. We talked about it and how hot the Rangers are right now. I think they could definitely pass them. So
yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like the car mirror, where they say that the objects in the mirror are closer than they actually appear. Like, you're looking around, and you have a couple teams that suddenly just snuck up on them, and they're within about 3 games. I feel like people didn't realize you have like 3 different tems that are within 2.5.
That's crazy.
Seattle. And nobody would have thought about it. But
no.
Yeah, they're only 7 games over. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it could be, I don't want to say code red, but code orange for Seattle. Like, it's a problem right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm moving on to one of the teams trying to catch them that have been just going supernova lately. You have the Rays, who are hosting the Guardians in this one. You have Gavin Williams against Seymour. For the pricing, I see the Rays at -120. I see the Guardians at +110. So shop around. You can find some pretty decent numbers there. For the over-under, I see 8.5 or 8. I don't know if I care who's pitching for Tampa. Both teams have been pretty good lately. It's why they're in the wild card race. But the Rays have been going crazy. You're looking at their record. They've won 6 in a row. They've won 9 of their last 11. And at home, they've been pretty solid recently. So I'm going to go with the Rays. I think Seymour's been fine. Cleveland has lost 3 of their last 4 after winning 4 in a row. But I do think that the Rays, based on form and based on home field, I'm going to give it to them. The Rays do weird things to find ways to be competitive. And you know what? It's been working. Give me Tampa at around -120.
Yeah, it's Tampa Bay minus 118. I think that's a very good price for the better team, I think, and the hotter team. My numbers made them a minus 135 favorite. Rays 8-2 in their last 10. They're playing really good baseball. Pitching has been solid. Bullpen quietly snuck into the top 10 as well. I think the offense has been much better. They're in the top 10 in runs per game, average at home 4.79. While Guardians, yeah, they're playing well, but they're in the bottom 5 in the league on the road with runs per game. I just don't trust them offensively. They're not good on the road, and I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up offensively. So, yeah, I'll take the home team. I'll take the Rays here. Can they sneak into the playoffs?
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Once again, the tricky part besides the games back is always how many teams are in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have to technically pass Kansas City, and they have the tie-break loss against Kansas City. But the Royals have lost 3 in a row. Texas is a game ahead of Tampa, but they've lost 2 in a row. So we'll see. But
that's the sneaky team, the Rangers.
Well, their run differential's plus 90. Kansas City's run differential's -8. So they're pretty lucky to be there, for being honest here. But we'll see what happens. But Tampa's giving themselves a chance, which I feel like most people didn't really expect, but good for them. Moving on to the next game. We have the Twins taking on, right on cue, the Royals. For this one, the Twins have been quite bad lately. They have Ryan going, though. For this one, you have Waka going for Kansas City. For the lines, we have none in this game. We know Ryan's been very good this season, a 3.08 ERA, 13-7 record, and he was bad in 2 straight starts, but he bounced back 7 innings, no runs against the Padres. For Waka, he was having a pretty solid season as well, and then recently, not great. Last 2 starts, 10 2/3, 7 earned runs. The Royals will be, I think, favored in this game at home, but I do think I might be tempted by the under, actually, because we know the Royals can hit. We know Minnesota's got a bunch of random guys and Buxton in that lineup as well. And I think both pitchers can go fine. I think Ryan's better than Waka, but Waka, looking at his actual numbers at home, he's been really good at home. So I think that that's worth something with his 3.01 ERA at home. Give me the under in this game. And I might go for whichever team's plus money, probably Minnesota, but I can't stand that team. So I'll go with the under instead.
Yeah, no lines, but I probably won't bet this game. But my numbers did make the Royals a short minus 110 favorite. Joe Ryan is obviously the best pitcher here and for the Twins. But you mentioned he really hasn't looked the same the past few starts. And they literally just got swept by the White Sox at home.
Oh, I had money on the White Sox in a couple of games. Don't you worry. I had money on them.
Because you're a sharp.
They were favored in every game.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Last show, they were plus 122. They were like plus 130 against Woods Richardson. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, yeah, sure, I'll take it.
I'll take it, exactly. So I feel like you want to back Michael Wacha at home. He's been solid in Kansas City. On the road, much different story, but both offenses really stink. I do think the Royals are the better team. They have the better bullpen. I just don't know how the Twins win this game with the way they've been playing. So it's Royals or pass for me, but I probably won't bet the game if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet it either. Maybe a first 500 if you trust both pitchers, but once again, the Royals are on the cusp of a wild card spot with a run differential of -8. They're not actually that good, just to be clear. They're kind of the pretender in this wild card race. That's my stance on them. Moving on, though, to the next matchup, though, you have the Astros against the Rangers. Astros salvaged a game against the Yankees, but they've not really been that good recently. Hasn't mattered because the Mariners fell apart. So they're going to cruise to a division title. We don't know who's pitching, though, for this game. For the Rangers, you have Kelly going for them. Once again, we have no lines. So Texas should be a slight favorite. I know the Astros have the better record. Jordan came back. I think he had 4 hits against the Yankees yesterday. But we know that Texas needs this game more. A really bad end to the series against Arizona. Classic Rangers this season. They've been up. They've been down, they've been up, they've been down, and it seems like they're starting to struggle again. But who knows? I'm going to go Texas because I actually think Kelly's just better than whoever goes for the Astros, but I am not betting this game at all. I want nothing to do with these teams, but I'll go with Texas if I had to pick.
Yeah, I did make the Rangers a minus 110, favorite. I think it might be Hunter Brown. Who knows? I thought I saw his name. And I also think Merrill Kelly has been solid since coming over from Arizona. Hunter Brown obviously has been really good this season. The offense just really hasn't been able to get him the run support he's needed the past few games. And to be honest, he really didn't pitch that well versus Ranger team back in July. Astros only playing around a 500 baseball right now. I think the Rangers are the hotter team. You mentioned it. They need this game more. They have the better bullpen, and I think Merrill Kelly will be fine here at home. So if they could get him the run support, 4-5 runs, I feel like the Rangers should win this game. So it depends on the number. I agree. I probably won't bet it, but I probably would take if you do want to take it, I probably would take the Rangers.
Yeah, once again, I need a line, but the Astros, despite winning the game yesterday, I thought they had a bunch of assistance from
Yeah.
the home plate umpire. I did not think they looked that great. The
No, they
Yankees
don't.
bullpen imploded, so don't get me wrong, you did what you had to do, but I didn't think they looked very good for the entire series. Moving on to the next game. For this one, this is going to be the fourth to last game on the slate. Giants taking on the Cardinals. For this one, you have another Seymour, taking on McGreevy, who's quietly 6-2. Good for him. For this one, though, you're looking at the Cardinals, who are favored -115. Giants are -105. Over/under is at around, I see 8.5. So Seymour's a bit of an unknown, but he's been okay. 4.74 ERA, not great. McGreevy, though, has been bad at home. 5.31 ERA. He has given up less than 3 earned, though, in 2 of his last 3. And the Cardinals have won a bunch of starts that he's actually made. Cardinals have won 5 of his last 6. I'm going St. Louis. Good home team. The Giants were able to beat up on the Rockies because the Rockies are a fake baseball team. But the Cardinals at home have been good. So give me the Cardinals in Busch Stadium.
Were you hesitant with that?
No, that was the beer commercial where they extend the Busch at the end.
Is it true that you can't drink beer in a beer commercial?
Yes, that's the Bud Light commercial that they talk. That's the discussion with who was that? Post Malone and Shane Gillis. They talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen somebody drink beer during a beer commercial?
No,
the answer is no.
Yeah, I haven't, and it's crazy that it took for them to say that for me to really put the pieces together. And I was like, wow, now that you say that, I've never seen it.
No, I was extending the shh at the end because that's how the commercial slogan goes for Busch.
Oh, I wasn't really a Busch guy, if I'm being honest. I had it in college.
We called them Busch lattes in Wisconsin because it was Busch Light. So I'm very familiar with the Busch game.
Yeah, same. For this game, outside of the Rays, the Giants are probably one of the hottest teams in the league as well. 9-1 in their last 10. But Seymour has not been good for the Giants. He doesn't really go long into games, but he's still capable of giving up 2-3 runs. That's why I like the over 8. I think the total is a little low. My total came out to 8.9. McGreevy has a good record, but he hasn't been good at home. 5.31 ERA. Batters hitting almost 300 off of him.
But they win his starts anyway somehow.
Exactly. But the over is 6-1 in his 7 home starts. So I'm going to fade both of these pitchers. I think we see a chaotic, high-scoring game. But yeah, like you said, the Cardinals will probably win this game because they always find ways to win his starts. But yeah, I like the over. I think we'll see some runs there tomorrow.
Do you want to point out, by the way, Matt Chapman was suspended. He appealed, and he had, I think it was 2 home runs yesterday. I don't know when the appeal process will be finalized. There is a chance he's suspended for this game.
Good.
I don't know when the appeal process is going to be finished, but the point is you can play while you appeal. There's a chance maybe he doesn't play in this game. We'll see. Moving on to the next game, Padres taking on the Rockies. They have to try to copy what the Giants did because they could use it trying to catch up to the Dodgers in that division. Are you Pivetta against Freeland? Freeland, I don't know what his story is because he was a main culprit of the issue that they had because he gave up a bomb and then cried about it. But we'll see if he ends up going in this game or not. Either way, we have no lines. Pivetta has been historically god-awful in Colorado, and that's been a pretty well-documented legacy of failure is him in this ballpark. So I like the over in this game. I'm ignoring the sides entirely. Whoever goes for the Rockies, I don't trust. And Pivetta, I'll pull up the numbers on Baseball Reference.
Yeah, I got him. I was just going to ask you.
He is awful in
11-14 ERA.
And he got killed with him earlier this year. So
he's 1-6 in 7 appearances. He's terrible.
Now, I faded Lauer in Coors Field a month or 2 ago, who's also been really bad historically, and he was actually good. So maybe the Rockies are so bad that once again Pivetta goes decently, but they shelled him earlier this year. I believe that was the game right after San Diego scored like 28 runs. The game after, I'm pretty sure they ended up winning outright because Pivetta was terrible. Just give me the over in the game instead.
Yeah, I agree. I made my total 11.7 just based on that number, based on how bad Kyle Freeland has been at home this season. And just look at his start versus San Diego earlier in the season. He got shelled by them. So I don't know how you take anything but an over here. I know, San Diego really hasn't been playing well. They just got swept by the Orioles, but I think this is a good series for their offense to get going and get back on track. So yeah, no lines, but I would take an over. I want to ask you, going back real quick to pivot to the Yankees and Astros, what were your thoughts on Framber Valdez, like him shaking it off? And then do you think he purposely threw that fastball at his catcher?
100%.
And that's fucked up because when I played AAU baseball.
Is there really, I don't interrupt your story, you can get back to it, but is there really a debate, or are people just trying to assume the best in people when he clearly did it?
I thought it was as clear as day, but then
I thought it was obvious.
And then I went on Twitter and people were like, no, he didn't do it on purpose. And I was like, people are just, I don't know. People are just
okay, so wait, what was your story about
AAU ball? Yeah, my story was in high school. But this wasn't on purpose. In high school, one of my friends was a catcher, and the signs got crossed up. He thought my other friend was throwing a curveball. He was setting up for a fastball, or vice versa. Threw a fastball, hit him right in the chest, and he winded up dying. So
damn.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. So him doing that, and the look on the catcher was like, bro, are you fucking serious? Like, we're not children. Like, I thought that was a fucking dick move by Framber, if I'm being honest.
It was. I thought that it was obvious, and I feel like most people agree with that. Do I think he'll get punished for it? No. Do I think Houston will sign him during the offseason? No. Probably not the right move during a contract year.
No.
Somebody will sign him anyway because he has a no-hitter or two, and he's still a solid pitcher in general, but very scummy move. Definitely a selfish personality based on, how that worked itself out. You mentioned the injury aspect of it. I didn't realize you had such a, personal story to a similar situation there. But you can't be doing that.
No, you can't. And I'm fucking glad that the guy wind up hitting a grand slam off of him.
It was after the grand slam. That's the point.
Still, fuck him.
That's why he did it. He did it because the grand slam happened, and then as revenge, he drilled the catcher, basically. But whatever.
What a scumbag, yeah. I just wanted your thoughts because you were a Yankee fan.
I mean, my thoughts were pretty simple. It was a grand slam. Thanks for the win, but you clearly tried to injure a catcher.
Scumbag.
I mean, I'll put it this way, though. If this happened during the 80s, I don't think anybody would have cared.
No. They wouldn't have.
So, and I mean, I guess that's just how baseball landscape and awareness has changed, where I don't think it's a soft thing. I think people are just more aware of, certain things that you just shouldn't be doing. And that's Bush League, as far as I'm concerned. So,
100%.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page for that one. Moving on to the next game, the A's taking on the Angels. For this one, you have Barnett against Soriano. So for this one, we have no lines. Doesn't matter, not really, because they're looking at who's pitching. Barnett, an ERA of 11+. Soriano has been steady all season, 3.68 ERA. Been amazing recently. He's allowed no earned runs in 3 of his last 4 starts, but the A's did torch him a couple outings ago. 5 2/3, 5 runs. Coincidentally, the Angels won that game by 6 runs anyway, so I don't know if it actually matters. But I'll go with the Angels, maybe first 5. I'll ignore the full game. Barnett, though, is not any good. Soriano's been good. Good enough for me. Soriano might be a decent either free agent or trade piece in the immediate future. He's not bad.
No.
I'll go with Soriano to get the job done first 5.
Yeah, he's not bad at home. I made him a -140 favorite here. They've actually been playing better baseball, better than I thought they would, especially without Tyler Ward being out. Their pitching has looked good, and as bad as their bullpen has been, they've looked good. So I got to back them here. And you mentioned Mason Barnett is not good, and their bullpen has given up a ton of runs. It doesn't matter how good the offense is. The pitching is atrocious in Sacramento. So, yeah, I can't back them there. I'd back the Angels up to a -140. I think that's a very fair price.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on to the last game, Red Sox taking on the Diamondbacks. For this one, you're looking at the Red Sox, who have Tolley pitching against Erod. So a bit of a revenge game here for Erod, I guess. Before this one, Red Sox -122 or -130 for the Arizona. I see +110. For the over-under, I see 8.5. So I don't know much about Tolley, to be honest here. In fact, he has no picture on ESPN. He's made one outing, and he was actually good. 5 1/3, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts against the Pirates. But Erod, my thoughts on, I think he, for lack of a better word, stinks. Give me the Red Sox minus 122.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be
I've made
another.
so much money fading Erod all season. I can't stop now.
Yeah, I don't blame you, especially at home. He hasn't been good. So this is going to be another total for me. Give me the over 8.5. A little chalky at minus 122. I think it might close around a 9. My total came out at 9.4. You mentioned it. Erod just has not been good at home this season. 5.69 ERA, 4+ runs given up in back-to-back home starts versus the Rockies and the Guardians.
That's not good.
Two of the worst offenses in the league. I just think that this is a bad spot here for the Snakes. I like the kid Tolley. I thought he was fine versus the Pirates, but he still gave up 2 runs. I think Arizona will be fine at home. They're averaging 5.12 runs per game at home. That's top 6 in the league. So I think it might be a different outcome for him. 2 good offenses. I think we see some runs here, but I do think Red Sox win big. So yeah, I like the Red Sox, and I also like the over.
Yep. I know that's going to wrap it up for all the games on the card. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. We're getting into the lock and dog reminder brought to you by our sponsor, which is Talking Fantasy, because you can use their Best Ball Mania. You're running out of time, though. You have a couple hours left. You can check it out all summer long, giving away 15 million prizes, 2 million first place, no waiver wire, no trade arguments. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. You could also use Underdog for pick'em entries. You win up to 500 times your entry. New deal, though, for new customers. Play just $5, get $50 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, new sponsor, America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig's an exchange, you'll get better prices than most sportsbooks. Check it out. Available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app, and when you spend $5, you'll get $50, no questions asked. If you use the promo code SGPN, get on the action with Novig. Use the promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish going through all the games for the Friday card. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, for your lock and dog, what do you like?
Yeah, I had a couple that I was going back and forth on, but I think what I'm going to go with at home. I can't get in front of this train right now. The streak, 16 in a row. Give me the Brewers. A little chalky at minus 140, but I don't mind here. Going to continue to back them. And he's been good, Quinn Priester. Only 1 run given up in that last start versus Pittsburgh. I think it's a little revenge spot as well. So, yeah, I will take the Brewers here as my lock. As my dog, it just stinks because we don't have a lot of lines that I like. You think the Royals will be dogs at home versus Joe Ryan, or probably not?
Against Minnesota? No.
No, right?
Minnesota stinks. They got swept by the White Sox. I can't assume they'll be favored in that.
How about the Rangers? Will you give me that one or no?
I think they'll be favored.
They'll be favored too.
I mean, you're looking at Kelly. I mean, Kelly's a pretty respectable pitcher. I think he'll be favored in that one.
Let's do it. Give me Shane Smith and the White Sox. You've been profitable with the White Sox as well. I think he actually's been the better pitcher between him and Jack Flaherty.
Hey, you stole both my plays.
Wow, did I?
Yeah, those are both my plays.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll take the White Sox. I think he's the better pitcher here on the road, and Jack Flaherty's just a fade right now. So I think we see a low-scoring game, and I think the White Sox could steal this one. Yeah, so I'll take the White Sox as my dog.
Yeah, so for my lock, did I want to go for the day game Wrigley over? Because I thought about it. I really did at 9.5. It's juiced a bit. I really don't see that closing at 9.5. Yeah, I was going to give out Milwaukee, but I'm not going to give out the same things that you did. So give me the over in that Cubs game. I think Assad can struggle. He has not really gone much distance this season. The Nationals might not be a good team. They have some power bats from the left side with Wood, of course, with Abrams. Do you think they can go yard a couple times? I'll go with the over, 9.5 at minus 125. You're looking at Irvin, who's been god-awful, ERA north of 8 in that, once again, month of August. I think it's a bad matchup for him, too. Give me the over, 9.5 for my lock in that Cubs game as my, once again, first play for the show. For the dog, what did I want to go with here? Because I think Toronto will be dogs, and they own the Yankees, but, I mean, Schlittler's been nasty. The Braves are favored, so I can't go with them. Even the Cardinals are favored here. You know what? I think I'll just go with it because I can't stand him as a pitcher, and I've made money. Give me the Red Sox, minus 1.5, plus 136. I get 136 fading Erod. That's a good time. I'll take that as my dog for the show. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for the show. Dylan, I know we missed a bunch of lines, but we still had a good show, I think.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add before we end the show?
No, just enjoy the games. I know everyone's going to be locked into some football these past few days, but there's still some money to be made on the diamond. And I think because of football, the lines start to get more in our favor. And I think odds makers start to be a little lazy.
They prioritize other sports instead.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel you. All right, that's going to wrap it up, though, for the show. And until next time, I'm on Twitter as Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rockford2K.